So in the last lesson, we learned how to use Maven and write a simple Hello World app and run it from Maven on the command line, and also load a Maven project into IntelliJ and run from IntelliJ. So the next step is to bring Mongo in. So in order to use Mongo from a Java application, we need the Mongo Java driver. So this is going to be our first exposure to that driver. So the first thing we need to do, obviously, is get the driver, and we're going to use Maven to do this. So I have a commented out piece here that I'm going to uncomment and add a dependency on the Java driver. So it looks like this. The group ID is org.mongodb, the artifact ID is Mongo Java driver, and the version we'll be using in this class, which is the latest production release, is 2.10.1. We can see that IntelliJ automatically added this Mongo Java driver to the external libraries. So let's start a new class. Hello World MongoDB style. And we'll add a main. And now what we're going to do in this class is just do the simplest thing that I can think of, which is to find a single document from a collection that's already existing in the database. So I created this collection earlier, and it's in the course database, and there's a collection called Hello, and there's a single document there with a name property equal to MongoDB. So in my Java application, the way this works is I create an instance of Mongo client, which is the entry point into a Mongo cluster, in this case a single standalone instance of Mongo. I'll create a new instance of Mongo client, which can throw unknown host exception, so we have to catch that or throw it from our method. So you can see that we added two imports. One is com mongodb mongo client, and the other is just java.net unknown host exception. So this by default connects to localhost port 27017, which happens to be the default for MongoD as well. We can be explicit about it by saying localhost or localhost 27017, or use the server address class and put that same information here. So now we have a client, which is basically a logical connection to a Mongo cluster, and we need to get a database. So the database class in the Java driver is called db, all caps. So I'll create an instance of, well, actually I won't create an instance, I'll get an instance from the client. And the database is called course. And then from the database we get a collection, and that class in the Java driver is called db collection. And we get that from the database like this. And the final thing we want to do is the find one, and that looks like this. We just say collection.find1. And what's the return type of find one? Well, it's a DB object. So I'm going to store this in a instance of DB object. And the last thing I'll do is print it out. I can run it from here. I removed JUnit from the POM, so I'm going to just remove this class. And it prints out the document in JSON format. And we can also run this from here as well. So this class is called, I'm going to copy the reference, and I'm going to change the main class to Hello World MongoDB style, and I'll run it. And the same thing, prints out the document. So that's Hello World Mongo style. And we can see that we created a Mongo client to connect to the server running on localhost 27017, opened the course database, and then the collection, the hello collection, and did a find one and printed it out.